this episode, I ride my World Raid Tenere all the way from Yackandandah, off-road via the Victorian High Country to Croydon, on-point suspension to have the suspension upgraded. We have some carnage along the way, and we find out some distressing news about the forks. They're not bent, are they?
Hopefully we'll see.
Strap in and come along for the journey. Here we go. First proper mission. We're fully loaded up, full tanks of fuel, on our way to the big smoke. 1 degree this morning, freezing cold. Very happy I got heated grips. Just got a tiny bit of bitumen, then we're on the trail. Something I certainly don't take for granted is having these trails 5 minutes from our front gate. We can pretty much ride anywhere in the high country with very minimal bitumen. She's a frosty one. Right, we're on the trails. So for me personally, this is a situation where this standard suspension feels the most sketchy, is coming down a steep hill like this, because you got all that weight and it just really loads up the front end. And it feels like the fork is on the bump stop, so when you hit something and the fork's already so far down in the travel, that's when she gets a bit sketch, and it just feels like you just got nothing there in the front end. So like, it's not that bad everywhere else. You can kind of prepare yourself for certain situations like jumping washouts and things like that, and it does feel quite good when you're cornering. But yeah, coming down a steep hill, it just really loads the front end up, because it's obviously like over 200 kilos and the fork's just got no hold up. So looking forward to having that fixed after this trip. Mighty Lake Buffalo. So we just quickly smashed this section out on the bitchy. We could go through Carbore there, but it's pretty basic. I went through there a few weeks ago and they are currently logging it. So I had a few logging trucks and forwarders yelling at me, so thought we'd just skip that today. This cuts off about half an hour, so I just really want to make sure I get there with plenty of time to get this suspension finished off this afternoon so I can get back on the road first thing tomorrow morning. From here, we pressed on via a route I was actually quite familiar with, having ridden many times over the years. We went Black Range Spur over to Cheshunt to Lake William Hovell via Buckland Spur, over Plain Creek Track into Sawmill Settlement. Then we dropped over into Sheepyard Flat, Tobacco Flat, over onto Mitchell's Track, and then made our way down into Jameson, where we topped up with fuel and got a little snack to refuel the tanks. You got a lot of weight trying to push this thing downhill, that's for sure. It's got to be real gentle on the brakes, not to lock it up. Or stall it. Ugh. Got a boat ramp for the Tenere. You little beauty.
This section through here was actually part of a loop we used to do way back in the day, where we would ride from William Hovell to Jameson on our dirt bikes, fuel up and ride back in the day trail riding. There's nothing too tricky in here, it's all pretty easy going. The biggest concern here is a four-wheel drive or a vehicle coming the other way. Seeing as I was lucky enough to get out and get this done through a week, I was pretty lucky. Apart from on the bitumen today, I only saw one vehicle, and that was at Sheepyard Flat. For the rest of the entire day, I did not have a vehicle coming towards me off-road.
Here we are, Paletti. This takes us up to the top of Mount Terrible. Been a while since I've been up this one, eh? A long time. Here we go. Momentum is your friend on these things. You lose momentum, it's all over. Easy money for the hog. The mighty Mount Terrible. Last time I was here, I was on a KTM 200 SX. It was a long time ago. Long time ago.
To get from the top of Mount Terrible down into Cumberland Junction and then onto Warburton was a set of trails that I'd never actually ridden before. So I plotted it out on the map, but as I expected, things got a little bit tricky. Once we got over the Melbourne side of the divide, they had had a lot more rain than what we had had at home the day before. The trails got extremely wet, extremely slippery. I had to be very cautious on the downhills, and I got caught out on an uphill that cost me a little bit of time trying to get my way up. In the end, it was all a good adventure, and we made our way through. Just cost us a little bit of extra time to get to On Point.
That's Page's track, so we are dropping down onto Cornhill track. It's definitely a touch greasier, but I'm really liking this new Pirelli tyre on the front. Had a Midas Rally on the front when I bought it, which is pretty well worn. So it wasn't a terrible tyre, but it wasn't amazing, I wouldn't say. Feels a lot more planted. I reckon once we get the suspension dialed in a bit more by Stelios, it's going to be even better. Fuck. No deal. Nearly had it too. Righto. Lost a bit of momentum on that washout. If I had got that, I would have had it, eh? Okay, have to try and spin this thing around. Okay, so we're just gonna roll him back down. This is the downside of adventure bikes, is they obviously weigh 200 kilos, so when you want to turn the things around, not that easy. Not just like a dirt bike where you just pick it up, flick it around. So, my plan is to just roll. I'm just pulling the clutch in slightly, rolling it back. Once I get to there, I'll figure out what I want to do. Hopefully it doesn't take off on me. I wanted adventures. We got them.
At this point, I was already 2 hours late, so I decided to put the tail between the legs and go and find a different way to get around this track that was going to be a little bit quicker and not lose me any more time than I'd already lost.
Oh, now, I reckon I'm just going to go around, eh? That's just eating up too much time. I'm already running late, so I've had a look on the map. I reckon I can get around the other way and it'll be easier, quicker. Could be harder. If it's harder, we're done.
Thankfully, we made it around no worries, dropped onto the big river road, shot down there, onto the bitumen, dropped down into Warburton and made our way through the city to On Point.
Right on Warburton Highway.
Okay, we have fired up the Google Maps. Honestly, this is the bit that scares me more than sending it through Fire Trail at 100k an hour. It's dealing with traffic. We don't get much traffic in Yackandandah.
Destination is on the right.
What way it is?
Seeing as I was running 2.5 hours late, I got straight to washing the hog, tearing it down so Stell could get to work on doing the suspension.
What do we got here, big guy?
Oh, just pulling apart a couple of big dog forks.
Not bent, are they?
Hopefully we'll see. We'll see what happens. But nah, should be right. We'll yeah, put some bigger springs in there, do a bit of a revalve and keep the thing off the bottom and we should be right. Get ready for them big fishing trips.
I jinxed myself. The fork legs are bent. So let's talk about that, Stell. That's a pretty common thing by the sounds of it.
Yeah, unfortunately
43 mil,
43 mil fork on a
200 kilo bike.
200 kilo bike does not
Math.
really work with the science. Yeah, no, it's something that we see a lot with the tenor race, and it's actually becoming more and more common because, yeah, the issue is it's not the forks aren't bending towards the bike; they're actually bending away from the bike. Because I think what's happening as people are going over small jumps or washaways, they're coming down front wheel, rear wheel heavy and slapping the fork down, and it's like it's because they're flexing so much they bind up and bend the fork our way. So yeah, not ideal. It's very common with the Teneres and something we're also seeing with the Aprilia Touregs as well. So thinking about buying one of these things, maybe make sure you got enough money in the bank to think about doing a 48 mil fork conversion, because yeah,
That's next on the list for
unless
us.
you're just going to ride down the highway.
Well, it's a good enough excuse to get a 48 mil fork in there, I suppose.
Yeah, well, we can, we'll just rip one out of the YZ and we'll just bang that in there, eh?
Make it work.
Hopefully, look at maybe developing a conversion kit for these things and give people an affordable option, because at the moment, if you buy them from Europe, you won't get much change for like 6 or 7 grand. So,
Yeah.
not really ideal when you've already spent so much money on these things.
Well, we'll keep that for a part B. All right, so we've bypassed the forks.
Yeah,
We're onto the shock.
Yeah, the forks have all they got was the spring upgrade, so we didn't invest too much time and money into those till we work out what we're doing. But with the shock, we've put the K-Tech ORVS valving kit in it. The reason I like these kits is the piston design's a little bit better than the standard one. A little bit lighter as well, and they sort of supply with a bit of a valve inset that we modify a little bit to suit each individual bike, because they're all a little bit different. But yeah, we found that these work really, really well in the adventure bikes with these 40 mil shocks. So yeah, hopefully we'll stop the thing hitting the bump stop.
So is that piston just a bit more tunable type than what's in there standard?
Yeah, so because it has a little bit of a different port design, we can basically put a lot more dampening at the piston and the face of the piston. So
Yeah.
giving it more control, but like not introducing any harshness. So if anything, it should make the thing a bit flusher.
Yeah.
Because it'll keep it at the top of the stroke rather than right in the bottom half.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is what we want with these shorter travel adventure bikes. So yeah.
Definitely.
And,
so that and a heavier spring.
that and a heavier spring should give her a bit more
Holder. I like it.
Bit more grip too.
I have to give a massive shout out to my guy Stal at On Point. We stayed back at the workshop till a little bit after 9 o'clock that night, putting the bike back together, getting it ready to go for the next day. I was absolutely cooked. We got a good night's sleep, came back to the workshop, threw a set of stickers on it. I got loaded up to make my way home on the return leg, where I took a different route through some of the steepest tracks in the high country, the deepest rivers, and the best camping that you will find. I even got to throw a line in and tried to catch some trout. Stay tuned for the next episode. You get to hear the feedback on how the Hog performed with the suspension upgrades and some of the toughest tracks in the high country.
Yes!
I'd had a bit on it actually. It is a little bit upsetting, honestly. Like I'm gonna have to eat a big serve of KTM humble pie now.